Hi, your new neighbour?
Enchanté.
So, you've come to teach the French some American tricks?
Has anyone noticed this is a very dysfunctional workplace?
I think you're the one bringing the drama.
Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So today let's discuss Netflix's original TV series, Emily in Paris. Now, some of you may think I'm a little bit late to the party, but when Emily in Paris first came out on Netflix, I must have binge watched it in about 2 days. Now, for those of you who haven't watched it yet, let's just do a little recap about what Emily in Paris is about. So the show is centered around Emily, as it says in the title. She works for a marketing firm in Chicago. However, then they take on a French marketing firm. I think it's called like Savoie. I don't know. Now, Emily's boss is supposed to go, however, she falls pregnant because she's been having too much going away sex.
That's our girl.
Yes, queen! Then Emily has to take her place with just a week to go. She speaks absolutely no French, but you know, she's only been given a week's notice. So, of course, when she goes to France, they aren't expecting her. They don't welcome Emily with open arms. If I went to a company and people were giving us the cold shoulder absolutely every single day, calling us a plouf, I think that's what they call her, I definitely wouldn't have as much positive vibes as what Emily does. That is essentially what the show is about in a nutshell. So, what I wanted to discuss... Let's turn this video into a drinking game. Take a shot every time I say actually. It comes about a lot. The day before we get into whether I think it's a good show or not, I want to discuss the controversial topics that I've seen floating about the internet. Number one, which I found was quite interesting, is a lot of people in digital marketing found it quite insulting that Emily, the protagonist, starts off with 47 followers when she gets to Paris, and then we slowly see that her following is starting to build up. She uses pathetic hashtags that basically no one would be able to find. So how she goes from 47 followers to about 10,000 followers in a couple of weeks, nobody knows. But the digital marketing community were very annoyed by that. Now, I don't know, maybe you work in digital marketing and you might have thought differently. I personally have worked in marketing for, well, before I started in radio, I worked in marketing for 4 years. So I've put together digital campaigns. I've worked alongside absolutely incredible digital coordinators. So I know the amount of effort that goes into putting on a digital campaign. So for someone to get 47 followers to then 10,000 in a couple of weeks is it's a bit far-fetched, isn't it? But saying that, it didn't offend us. It's a TV show, you know. It's a show that's very romanticised. I think the show, yes, it does have a main focus on Emily and her career. The show's basically you should focus more on the relationships within it. The show angered a lot of people in France due to the cliches that were thrown about. Got the cliche that French people, they don't like to work. You know, they're very lazy. That sometimes comes across. Emily, I'm sure it's in her first day, she shows up and she's like, right, it's 8:30, why can't I get into the building? And it's not until 10:30 when one of the guys comes and he's like, oh, we don't open till 10:30. And she's like, ugh. And then it also shows a sequence where Emily's typing on her laptop, she's getting straight into it, and her boss walks in and the time is 11:15. She looks at her phone and kind of goes... So people were angered by that. However, again, I wouldn't really take offence because I think it's the character Emily. We're viewing everything through her eyes. So because she's worked in America where they literally get up, they go into work at 8:30. It's just a different work-life environment. So it's basically just different times. It doesn't mean that they've got a less work ethic than Americans. It's just that they do things in a different way. More of a work-life balance is what they look at. Darren Star, the creator, so he created Sex and the City, has been absolutely unapologetic with the decisions that he's made and how he's represented the French. But Lily Collins, who plays Emily, has said that, of course, hopefully they get a second chance in season 2 and then they can look at everything again. Personally, I mean, if you look at the way the British are represented in Hollywood, I mean, I don't take offence. In a Hollywood movie, you never hear someone with my accent. It's always someone like, oh, please could you pass the tea? Oh, please. What others is another cliche that they like to use? We're very polite. We talk like this. We're very up our own bottoms as well. You know, and we must drink tea. Tea fixes absolutely everything. All the British enjoy tea. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. When the reality is, not all of us talk like that. But again, that's the cliches that sometimes Americans like to use in the films, and I ain't bothered. Are you? Are you bothered? Because I'm certainly ain't bothered. I tried doing an Irish accent, I don't think it worked. That's kind of the controversial topics that I picked up in the press. I don't know if yous who've watched it and who've looked at everything, do you have any controversial topics to talk about down below? Comment and let us know if you have seen anything. So let's start getting into whether I think it's a good TV show to watch. Like I said in the beginning, I binged watched this. It's hard to say that I binge watched this. I binged watched this in about 2 days. Absolutely loved it. It was such an easy watch. And I think when the world, this is going to sound really dramatic, but when the world feels quite heavy, I think that's just what you want. I think we needed a TV show like this. So if yous are in lockdown 2.0 like me, and you haven't seen it yet, I would strongly recommend that you just put it on and watch it. It just gives you something lighthearted. So the episodes are only run for 30 minutes as well. So it's quick, it's easy, it's just an easy watch. The cinematography in it is absolutely beautiful. I mean, they shot it in Paris, so I feel like you would have to be pretty rubbish to mess up shots taken in Paris. You know, like I say, the show was created by Darren Star, so of course fashion falls incredibly heavy on this. I mean, some of the outfits that Emily wears, oh, it's just beautiful. So there was one scene where, again, I think this might be in the first or second episode, Emily goes to a party. In the backdrop is just the Eiffel Tower, and she's talking to one of our clients that the marketing company represent. In the backdrop of that is just absolutely stunning. Emily, she's wearing a black sleeveless dress, again beautifully shot. I don't know about yous and what yous thought, but again, I think if you're shooting in Paris, it would be pretty hard to mess up. So yeah, that's my standpoint on the cinematography. They've got some lovely shots. It's really colourful. Again, I just think watching one episode will literally brighten up your day. It won't change your life, let's face it. It won't change your life, but it's something fun to watch. And don't you think we need that rather than heavy things all the time? And honestly, it took me mind off things for a little bit and I really enjoyed it. Okay, so this is where, if you've not watched it, you may want to turn off because I might give away a few spoilers. So just a little warning. I've not gave anything away at the minute. In fact, I hope this is a good review because I feel like I've just went on a bit of a tangent. The only thing I think is that as the show goes on, Emily becomes a very unlikable character. In my eyes, she does anyway. So towards the end, she's kind of course, it's Paris, she's going to have a few romantic ties. However, she begins to get feelings for one of our neighbours. In a few episodes in, it works out that a girl that she's met, who's absolutely lovely to her, she meets her, she invites her to a gallery opening, she becomes really close friends with her, is lovely, such a lovely human being. She discovers that actually the neighbour that she's fallen for, that's his girlfriend. And I must say, I rewatched a couple of episodes in and he's like, hey, you can come into my house if you want. And I'm like, hun, you're not a nice person either, because I think he sent, sorry, I'm getting a bit too into this. He sent Emily signals already knowing fine well that he had a girlfriend. How rude. So anyway, as the show progresses, Emily kisses the guy and she's like, oh no, I feel really bad, like I can't believe I've done it, yada yada yahoo. Then she kisses him again, and again she's like, oh no, I can't believe I did it again, oh no. And then towards the end, this poor lass wants to help our boyfriend buy a restaurant, only he's really offended and he's like, I don't want to take your parents' money. And she's like, why? Because they can help you. And then basically he then finds a restaurant from where he's actually from, and he's like, actually I'm going to move away from Paris, unbeknownst to the girlfriend. And then Emily, before he leaves, decides, oh actually, you know what, I'm going to have sex with you. Like, I know you've kind of just broken up with your girlfriend who I'm really close friends with, but I'm just gonna do it. Like, I don't care about my friend's feelings. It's not until the end, again spoiler, when they've slept together, into he's actually had help from one of Emily's clients to buy the restaurant that's in Paris. And then he's like, oh, I'm not leaving. And then hopefully we'll get a season 2 so we can see how that works out. But I just thought, Emily, you're a bad woman, aren't you? So that's where I kind of have a problem with the main character. I know she's humans. Humans make mistakes. So you'd think once you kissed him the first time, you'd be like, I need to draw a wedge in between here. I'm not for cheating. I think it's wrong. And I just watched with utter disgust. And I was like, your friend deserves better. She deserves a better friend. Emily's a rubbish. That's the thing. Emily, I enjoyed watching your little journey and your career, but you're a horrible friend. And you know what's funny is she kind of looks down on her boss for doing the exact same thing. However, when I watched it and I thought about it, Emily becomes a reflection of our boss. So you've got my boss has an extremely work ethic, absolutely fantastic at her job, but then when it comes to her personal life, she's sleeping with a man who was married. So then Emily kind of we start to see a mirror. She starts morphing into our boss by the end of it. And you do kind of feel sorry for the boss at times. I mean, I know she's sleeping with somebody else's husband, but again, she'll always be the second woman. She'll always be the second best. Who wants to be second best anyway? No, bye boy. And I can guarantee that that'll happen to Emily. But I hope that the nice French lady gets rid of her stinky boyfriend anyway. So I don't think he's very likeable, to be honest. I'm gonna sneeze. So in the end, I think it's a great TV show. It's definitely worth the watch, especially in lockdown. I think the world is quite heavy at the moment, and this is just something, it's really light-hearted. Lily Collins, even though I start to dislike the character, I think she does a lovely job. You know, you can't go wrong with Lily Collins, can you? I've seen actual reviewers do this, so I thought I might copy. I would give Emily in Paris a B. I've gave it a B, not an A, because I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I'm going to save me A's for films and TV shows that I think will change your life. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'd absolutely love to hear your comments down below. Let's have a chat about it. What did you think? Thank you so much. If you enjoy videos like this, please stick around. I would absolutely love to see us again. Enjoy the rest of your night.